At this stage of the course, we move from a general understanding of 5S to its key principles and practical logic. So far, we have discussed why 5S is important and how it supports productivity and stability. Now we focus on how it works in everyday practice. 5S is often associated with cleanliness or visual order, but that is only the visible layer. 5S is about creating a work environment that supports the process, reducing hesitation, limiting unnecessary decisions, and making problems easier to notice. When the workplace is well organized, people spend less time searching, less time compensating for poor layout, and more time performing value-adding work. An important point to remember is that 5S is not a one-time activity. It is a sequence of steps that build on each other. Skipping steps or changing their order usually leads to short-term results that quickly disappear. That is why we go through the principles one by one in a logical order. The 5S system consists of 5 interconnected steps that fundamentally change how people interact with their workplace. These steps are not independent actions. Together, they create a structured, repeatable approach to organization. Sorting helps clarify what is truly needed. Cleaning allows us to maintain and inspect the workplace. Determining location and quantity brings clarity and stability. Standardization ensures consistency. Maintaining and improving standards keeps the system alive over time. What makes 5S powerful is that it reduces uncertainty in daily work. People no longer need to guess where things belong, how much is required, or what good looks like. Instead, the workplace itself provides clear answers. This simplicity is what makes processes more stable and less dependent on individual habits. Seiri, or sorting, is the foundation of 5S. The goal is to clearly distinguish between what is necessary for the process and what is not. Over time, work areas naturally accumulate items just in case. While this often comes from good intentions, it usually leads to clutter, confusion, and wasted space. One challenge during sorting is uncertainty. People are often not sure whether an item might be needed in the future. This is why red tagging is commonly used in 5S. Red tagging provides a structured way to deal with uncertainty without forcing immediate decisions. Questionable items are temporarily marked and moved to a designated evaluation area. This approach serves several purposes. First, it removes unnecessary items from the workplace without creating resistance. Second, it allows decisions to be based on actual usage rather than assumptions. Over time, it becomes clear which items are truly needed and which are not. Sorting also requires looking at the frequency of use. Items used daily should remain close to the workstation. Items used occasionally can be stored further away. Items rarely used should not occupy valuable production space. Through this process, the workplace becomes lighter, more transparent, and easier to manage. Seiso, or cleaning, goes far beyond keeping the workplace visually clean. In 5S, cleaning is closely connected to observation and awareness. When people clean their work area, they naturally notice abnormalities: leaks, wear, damage, loose parts, or repeated sources of dirt. Cleaning, therefore, becomes a form of inspection. Instead of relying solely on maintenance or quality departments, operators themselves become the first line of detection. This allows problems to be identified early before they develop into failures or defects. Regular cleaning routines help stabilize this practice. When cleaning is planned, simple, and clearly assigned, it becomes part of everyday work rather than an extra task. Standardized tools and methods further reduce variation and confusion, making cleaning faster and safer. Over time, Seiso supports a sense of ownership. When people care for their workplace, they are more likely to notice changes and take responsibility for maintaining good conditions. Seiton focuses on organizing the workplace so that everything has a clearly defined location. The objective is not visual perfection, but functional order. A well-organized workstation guides behavior and reduces unnecessary movement and decision-making. Frequently used items should be within easy reach to support ergonomics and reduce fatigue. Less frequently used items should still have precise designated locations. Visual tools such as labels, color coding, floor markings, and shadow boards make correct placement obvious and incorrect placement immediately noticeable. Equally important is arranging tools and materials according to the sequence of work. When the layout follows the process's logic, tasks flow more smoothly and errors are less likely. Order is easier to maintain when the system aligns with how people work. Seiketsu connects the previous steps into a stable system. Without standardization, improvements slowly fade as people revert to old habits. Standardization defines what the normal, expected condition looks like. Practical standards are visual and straightforward. They may include photos of the correct setup, short checklists, or clear markings that show limits and expectations. The purpose is not to create paperwork, but to provide clarity and consistency. Regular checks help confirm whether the system still works as intended. When deviations occur, the focus should be on understanding whether the standard is unclear, impractical, or outdated. Standards must evolve as processes change. Otherwise, they lose credibility and effectiveness. Shitsuke is about sustaining 5S through habits and culture. It does not mean strict enforcement or punishment. Instead, it focuses on making 5S a natural part of daily work. Consistency is built through routine. Small, regular actions are more effective than occasional large cleanups. Leadership plays a critical role by demonstrating expected behavior and reinforcing standards through example. Recognition and feedback help strengthen commitment. When people see that order and discipline are valued, they are more likely to maintain them. Periodic refresher training ensures a shared understanding and prevents gradual drift. Ultimately, Shitsuke integrates 5S into the organization's way of working. When this happens, 5S is no longer seen as an initiative but as a regular supportive part of everyday operations.